Augustia, Manifestation Secrets to Success. In this video, I'm going to share at least 3 different ways of techniques that I have used to manifest money, thousands of dollars, car, home, as in apartments, and other things, relationship. Very, very simple things, and like Dr. Ply says, and I subscribe to this as well, I found it personally true, the simplest is the profoundest. If you can master the basics, you don't have to worry so much about the fancy stuff. Just have to do the basics really, really well. And most of all, consistency. Now that segues into the beginning of this, which is creating a cycle of power. A cycle of power is just something that I come up with as a way to generate, maintain momentum. It is a way to create consistency, because it's a difference between using these little simple tricks and techniques when you're just putting your toe in the water, you're just dabbling, versus jumping in the water, swimming to your destination. That's what's going to actually take you from where you're at now to the result that you want to create. You have to manually put in a little bit of effort, not that it's hard, but if you can imagine a record, you have the needle that goes in the groove playing that same old song. If you want to play a new song, you do have to pick up the needle and put it into a new groove. Not that that's a hard thing to do, you just have to put in the effort to do that. And so creating a cycle of power is a way to help you do that. A cycle of power is filled with what I'm calling anchor points. These anchor points help you anchor in the momentum and help you anchor in a cycle of power. Now I'm going to share with you at least 3, and I'll maybe share with you a couple optionals as well, but I want to keep this as simple as possible. So anchor point number 1 is meditation. Now when I say meditation, I mean extended, dedicated focus. Extended, dedicated focus. Now in my case, I'm working with the sound Brzee. So the first thing that I do when I wake up, I've trained myself to be able to meditate while laying on my back in my bed. However, you can also sit up in a chair or on the floor, whatever works for you. There is no right or wrong. The point is, the position is not important. What's important is whatever helps facilitate you to be able to meditate, extended, dedicated focus, the best. So I will spend time focusing on Brzee. That's anchor point number 1. Now, how long do you do this? There are no hard and fast rules. It's good to start small and then work your way up as it feels comfortable, with having a vision to maybe get to, say, 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour. I will tell you, my personal experience, the more that you start doing this, it's not that you have to force yourself. In fact, the only thing you'll have to force yourself is to stop the meditation. You'll enjoy it so much that you will want to you have to make yourself stop by setting alarms like this. Now, you may want to get an audio recording if you are new to meditation or you find it difficult to meditate by yourself. What has worked for me tremendously is using audio recorded meditations where you don't have to think about it. You could take your mind out of it and you just listen and follow along. And for that, I do recommend Brzee Meditations by Dr. Ply. You can go on YouTube and get those for free. He also has programs that you can pay for. However you wish to get them, I can definitely recommend the free ones are really, really good on YouTube. So meditation is number 1. Number 2, using your thought matrix to read your declarations. Now, if you watch my past videos, I recommend How to Create Your Dream Life Part 1 and Part 2. I will put links to those videos in the description. This is where I go through in detail of how to build a thought matrix, which is present tense affirmations. I am doing this. I have this. I am surrounded by this. I am enjoying this. I feel this way. I look this way. What you are doing with this thought matrix is a term that I've coined, is you are building memory in advance, information to support a 3-dimensional expression, which we have defined that manifestation is simply establishing new information to support the new 3-dimensional expression. That's why you don't want to have goals. Goals is something that you are working towards or seeking to achieve. It's not something that you have now. Declarations in your thought matrix is new software you're going to install in your brain by speaking them out loud. So what I've been doing with mine is, I've been at this for well over a month now, many, many weeks. Even now, not only am I speaking them out loud, but as I do this, I'm saying, oh, I could say this one differently. If I say it this way, it sounds better for me. It's a constant state of refining. I'm adding things. I'm subtracting things. It's still going on. How many? You can have one declaration. You can have I right now have about a page worth. You can have a little notepad. Whatever it comes to you, there's no hard and fast rules. The key is having declarations that inspire you and that are effects. They're not hows. For example, you're not saying, I have a job that gives me $90,000 a year, just as an example. You are saying, I am receiving $90,000 a year. The job, unless you actually want a job, you're focusing on the effects that you want to create. Now, again, I go into this in great detail in the How to Create Your Dream Life Part 1 and 2 and some of my other past recent videos. So, step number 2, anchor point number 2 is reading your declarations. What I do is after I come out of my meditation, I have my notebook under my pillow. I grab that, I open up the page, and I let my eyes fall on my declarations while I'm in that powerful, powerful state. And I find that to be very, very powerful to read them right after I come out of meditation. That's anchor point number 2. Now, these anchor point 1 and 2, I do them in the morning and I do them in the evening. So I meditate before waking up, right after I wake up, and do my declarations. And before I go to bed, I read my declarations and I go back to meditate until I fall asleep. Now, in between this, there's a technique that I had helped to develop a while ago. I'm going to post a link to the video underneath this. This is the exact technique that came to me in a meditation, which I had used to manifest a luxury apartment and a $450 a month raise in a matter of hours. And I had, at that point in my life, I tell the whole story, I was focusing on, I had to move. My landlord was selling my place, I had to move, and I decided I wanted to live in a city. I had been looking for weeks, and I could not find anything that fit. It was this reason or that reason why it couldn't work. Then one morning, this technique came to me. I did it. That's the only thing different that I did that day. And then boom, all of a sudden, I found the perfect place. I not only did I find it, the floor plan was literally named after me. My last name is the name of the floor plan. I tell my boss about it. Not only did they give me time off work to go and travel to go and check this place out, they gave me a $450 raise on the spot. There's so many things that happened. This technique can be done in 5 seconds. You can spend more time with it to be a minute, 5 minutes to an hour. There's no hard and fast rules. But the key here is it can be done very quickly and it's very powerful. It's a 5-step process. It's very simple. It's a combination of Joe Dispenza's work, Dr. Ply, Patanjali Yoga Sutras. It's synthesized, it's powerful, it's very, very precise, and I highly recommend you try it. Now, what you do with this technique is about once an hour, or as you can remember throughout the day, you do this short little technique, which is a powerful way to manifest specific thoughts and also to maintain your emotional state of mind, which I have found to be more powerful than managing your mental state. If you can get a hold of your emotions and manage those, your mental state as a byproduct will be elevated. Okay, so I highly recommend you do these. Now, some optional anchor points. An obvious one and another very simple one is, again, I'm working with the sound Brzee. If you have a mantra, I highly recommend you get one. If you don't have one, I do recommend Brzee because I can personally attest it is working right now, and not just for me, but for many, many other people. I also am constantly uttering Brzee throughout the day as I'm going about my business. I'm listening to it on the audio MP3 as I work on the computer, constantly remembering and thinking about Brzee as I go about my day. Another anchor point you can try is morning and evening. I have a little altar here, and I offer to statues and images of God that I connect with. I offer some incense, some rose water. I just spritz on them. I have some honey in a little copper bowl or cup, you could say. And I also offer some scents like this nice parfum that I like to put on them as well. And there are no hard and fast rules. You offer them whatever you like. God says, even if you offer me a leaf with love, I will accept it and love it. You can even just offer water. So I like to do that, and then after I do that, on my knees, I like to again read my declarations in front of them with their blessings. It's almost like reading it in front of them, and Shirdi Sai Baba talks about this. He recommends reading sacred texts in front of them because only then will you be able to actually get something out of it. So that's another option. And then finally, I will end it with a very, very powerful anchor point. It's very simple, and I made a video about this, the number one block to manifestation. Go check that video out. It's called Tarpanum. Tarpanum is a very simple, again, this is one of those things that can be done in about 15 seconds or less. It's a very simple ritual that you are offering to your ancestors. And why you're doing this is because your ancestors wield a more powerful influence over your life than even the angels or the gods and goddesses, according to the yoga tradition, because you're sharing a symbiotic connection with them. In summary, your ancestors, what you are manifesting, your health, your relationships, your money, your intelligence, your problems, or your benefits, is a direct result of your ancestral memory that is in your body and also your soul. Dr. Ply calls it soul genetics. Modern science admits that we're carrying at least 15 generations of memory of your ancestors inside of your body. It's much, much more in the yoga tradition. And this memory or information is supporting the three-dimensional expression that you are having. You are a culmination of your entire mother and father side ancestors. And what Tarpanam does is it cleanses this ancestral karma. It's a technology. When I say ritual, don't think of it as a simple religious arbitrary thing. This is actually a yogic science with certain materials that are used to purify the ancestral body and memory. So, to recap and in summary, anchor point, you want to create a cycle of power to generate and maintain the momentum you need to manifest the results that you want. A cycle of power is created by creating a series of anchor points. Anchor points are activities that you do not give yourself an option to do. That even no matter how tired, no matter how sick, no matter what you have going on in your life, you do these no matter what. And in doing that, you establish habits to the point they become natural. Anchor point number one is meditation. Meditation is extended, dedicated focus. Anchor point number two is reading and speaking out your declarations. If you haven't created your declarations or your thought matrix, you're going to do this. Anchor point number three is a 5-step process, a midbrain tapping technique, and I'm going to link to a reference for that video underneath, along with other videos I'm referencing in this video. That's anchor point number three. So, meditation, declarations, the midbrain tapping throughout the day, and then declarations and meditation to end your day. Now, the optional ones I have given. Remember a mantra. I have given the mantra Brizzy. Go get that mantra from Dr. Ply on YouTube. Type in Brizzy Dr. Ply. Another optional one is doing a ritual to forms of divine that you like once in the morning and evening, and then again, declaring your thought matrix in front of them. And finally, the last optional one is Tarpanam. Ancestral purification, which is purification of the memory that is supporting things that you do not want in your life that will enable you to create the thought matrix that you do want. So I covered a lot of things in this video, and this video is longer than I want, but I hope this helps at least give you one thing that you can use today to start manifesting results that you want. If you found anything in this video valuable, I appreciate it if you give a like, and if you want to see more videos like this, make sure to hit the subscribe button. If you have any questions, comments, or feedback, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. And as always, wishing you the best. God bless.